Into the Cypher with your light.
Greetings, welcome to the Enter the Cypher podcast. I am your host, your trainer, your workout partner, your server, Cypher the MC here once again on this beautiful day here in the Carolinas. Every day is a beautiful day, no matter what it looks like outside. So with that being said, yeah, it's kind of rainy outside, but hey, we're not going to let that bother us. We're not going to let that affect us. So whether it's sunny where you are in Beijing, China, even though right now it might be dark in China, I don't know. But if you're in China and you're listening to this podcast, thank you for the download. Ding. But yeah, we're going to take this day as it is, a gift from the creator above, and we're going to just press on and do the best with it. So, as you all know, for those that have been with me for a while, we got to get these disclaimers out the way. I'm not a doctor, not a psychotherapist, not a psychiatrist, psychologist of any kind. You know, I don't have a master's degree or a doctorate from Harvard. I'm just a regular, say it with me, Joe Schmo, if you will. That's just giving you, hopefully opening up your mind to different perspectives that we can embark on this journey to be the best version of ourselves. I truly believe that the man upstairs gives us each and every day to improve, each and every day to be the best version of ourselves. And there's 24 hours in a day. And that should be plenty of time. Even if we sleep 16 of those hours away, there's plenty of time for us to find something to improve upon. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. But first, quick shout out to my man Ian there over at Knock Hard Music. I was saying Hard Knock Music. I believe I did that in the episode. Please forgive me, Ian. Knock Hard Music. For this crazy beat and everything like that. I like to make sure that there's some mellow music there just to kind of soothe you, the listener there. But yeah, you can go ahead and follow him on Instagram, knockhardmusic_official. He has some great beats and stuff, so I'm gonna kind of keep it switched up to give you guys different flavors. So with that being said, today's topic, dealing with men and mental health. Now, I know it's been a big introduction, a big wave, really looking into it and everything like that. And there's actually an article that I came across that really hits on a lot of what has been, provided thus far, because it's still relatively new, much along the same lines as when the concussions and the CTE, situations, with football players and basically athletes in general, and how it affected them later on in life. Mental health has come to the forefront for many of us, but more so, I definitely wanted get into it, just a pinky toe into the pool, if you will, just a pinky toe, not the whole foot, just the pinky toe, into mental health there, into the pool, and just kind of touch on some things here. Now, the article that that I've ran across is from Talkspace.com. I definitely will leave the link in the description. So that way you can definitely check it out for yourself. It's from 2018, so right around this time right here, a lot of men were coming to terms with what was identified as a mental health issue. And this article, even though it says the title is "Why Black Men Face Greater Mental Health Challenges," I just don't want it to just be about black men or people of color. Or men of color rather, but this is really for all men, because I believe all men have a common thread somewhere as far as certain things that make us cringe at the idea of being vulnerable. And I'll say that again. No man really says, you know what, I feel like being vulnerable with you today. I want to talk to you about something. Now, as with anything, as on the show, hey, there are exceptions to the rule, so there may be that one guy out of 10 that says, hey, you know what? I have a great relationship, whenever there's something emotionally going on with me, I feel that I can trust certain individuals with, revealing, how I feel. And that's great. And that's where we all want to be on a certain level, I truly believe. But I'm going to get right into it. Man, let's face it, we have not been shown or told or guided rather on how to process or talk about our emotional experiences, our feelings, so to speak. If you really think about it, most boys, when they're growing up, they're told really to, bottle their feelings up and, cast them into the, Mariana Trench, bad boy reference, and just kind of just leave it there. Eventually it'll go away. Maybe not so much so, but we've pretty much been told what? You better not cry. Something happens, you better not cry. Or if we're already crying, okay, well, why are you crying? And if we tell, whoever's asking, then it becomes well, why are you crying about that? Well, evidently it hurts on a certain level that physically tears are falling. Tears are falling. Waterfalls of tears. But we're told, stop crying, wipe your face, brush it off, it's going to be okay. And as a child, when you're listening to this or hearing this over and over again, and it's really no different type of statement being said to you, no matter the situation, no matter the scenario, you're being told the exact same thing on how to deal with it. You grow up thinking, okay, this is how I have to deal with this. It's going to eventually go away. I'm just going to push it to the side. I'm just going to move forward. And then eventually later on down the line, it begins to manifest itself in different ways that you have to kind of go all the way back to your childhood to say, you know what? I was never listened to. No one ever took me seriously when I said that I had something on my mind or whatever the case may be. And that's how, I see it for most men. Most men are told to be tough, that we're the protectors of the household. You're supposed to be the big brother to your siblings. You're supposed to be the big cousin or whatever. You're supposed to be all of these things. So you have burdens put on you at such a young age. You're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, and it leaves no room for you to show any type of emotion when things kind of are too much for you. I mean, think about it. Most men, a good man is what? He works hard, takes care of his family, make sure these, everyone is provided for, and he's just always there. He can go without, everyone else cannot. A bad man is just the opposite of that. He only looks out for himself. He parties, he does this, that. Okay. A good man, he makes sure that, he pays his bills on time and he's doing all of these things. Okay, cool. Bad man, opposite. He's always at the club. He's always in the streets. Okay. But yet nowhere in there is it ever accepted, hey, man, how are you today? Now we get asked, how was work? Men get asked, how was work? Or how was something? But very rarely are men asked, how are they doing? Like, how are you doing? Like, I understand that, you went to work today and things of that nature, and you had a deadline and you had clients and you had all this going on and everything, but how are you doing? Most men would just say, I'm fine, I'm good. And it may take a prodding question or two to get a man to really open up, but let's face it, most men were never taught. We were never taught how to convey our feelings because we were always told men don't cry, men can't show any emotion. But yet women want a man to be sensitive. How? How can a man be sensitive when growing up he was not taught or shown how to be sensitive or shown any sensitivity to his own emotions? How? It's very easy for a mother to teach her son, well, this is how you're supposed to treat little girls. This is how you're supposed to treat a woman. And he may very well get a similar speech from, his father or father figure, this is what you're supposed to do as a man for your woman and blah, blah, blah. But nowhere in that conversation or nowhere in those scenarios is it ever a point where the man can ask, well, what if I need someone to talk to? What if I have a bad day? We're just told to suck it up and just go to the next day. But then you have all of these outlying issues that occur later on. Oh, he's distant. He doesn't communicate well. He drinks, he smokes. He stays out all night with his friends. And that's not to say that talking about those very same issues will, just kind of make all of these other things kind of disappear or not happen. But what it could do is allow any individual to actually know what is going on in a man's world, with his mental state, with his mental well-being. I mean, stress is a real killer. Stress is a real killer amongst men, particularly men of color. Why? There's a whole plethora. Yes, I'm using my SAT words, people. A plethora of reasons why stress is, can lead to, heart stress and, issues with our hearts and minds and things of that nature. And, whether it's chemistry, environment, genetics, whatever, lifestyle, what we eat, drink, whatever. Stress is very real. And that's actually one of the, signs of mental illness is someone that always feels stressed. But, the article itself is very, very good here. And I'm just going to read a portion of it here just so you have an idea. Many men, arguably most, in parentheses here, struggle with the idea of being openly vulnerable and sharing their emotions. And for those who grew up as sensitive boys, they are often subject to ridicule and shaming for what are natural and healthy expressions of emotion. Black men face a unique challenge in that most of what is most prized about them may be their looks or bodies, but rarely ever their intellect and emotional intelligence. These things are often deemed too soft for any black man to experience, delivering the message that if you are those things, then you must change, and fast. And, I agree with this statement here because men in general are looked at to be strong. That's it. You can't be strong and have any type of emotions. Those two just don't seem to go well together. It's okay for a woman to be viewed as strong, but she's allowed to have her emotions and things attached because women are viewed as more emotional beings than men. Now, let's just take this from a biblical perspective. women were created from men. Women were created to be the helpmate to the man. Would it not be suffice it to say, that even though she is there to balance him out, he too would have more or less the very same emotional capabilities as her? Would it not mean that he also should be able to convey those emotions without judgment or ridicule or anything such of that nature? I mean, even though a lot of celebrities have come out and said that they've been dealing with, depression or mental health issues or infidelity issues or anything such as that. And the article references, Kid Cudi, Kanye, even Jay-Z, talked openly about attending therapy around the release of his last album and everything. What about the average guy, most of us are not going to spend thousands of dollars or whatever per hour to talk to someone that's, once a week, and, hopefully that works. Some men do it and it benefits them. Some men do it and it does not. It really depends on the man and their frame of mind as far as what they have encountered and how they can view themselves getting past it. As a man of color, I've had, I can definitely say, my issues with anger, being viewed as being undervalued or not valued at all, that I've had to kind of, work through. I didn't go see a therapist or anything such as that, but I had to have the mindset of, I need to take a look at myself. I had to take a look into my own life. It's okay, like, why am I so angry? And there was one point where, I hit a wall, like literally. That's not figurative, but literally. And it scared me because I'm like, I don't want to do this. I can't keep doing this. I'm causing property damage simply because I'm angry, because I'm not being listened to, or I'm not being listened to. So, but was it because I wasn't being listened to that led to my anger, that I had to hit something? I had to take the time to look within myself to see, okay, where's this anger coming from? And I had to do this several times in my life growing up, and whether it was dealing with, at that point in time, the relationship between me and my father, that time between myself and, being a divorcee, is that French? Divorcee? Or what have you, or being a single father, or whatever the case may be. It was like, okay, those particular times, I now more or less take a mental checklist of where I am. And I do this often. I would implore anyone else to do it as well as a man. Do a mental checklist and see exactly, ask yourself those questions. It is not a matter of love. You have to love yourself first. Regardless if you're married or in a relationship or whatever, you have to love yourself first. You cannot keep pouring yourself into everyone else and nothing is being poured back into you, because what you end up with is being an empty vessel. And guess what? You can't get anything from an empty vessel. You cannot get anything from an empty vessel. So you have to kind of take those mental checklists, take a mental checklist of yourself and say, okay, where am I at today? Where am I at today? Why don't I feel 100%? And if you do need to speak with someone, definitely take the time as a man to do it, because you have to do it for yourself, especially if you are, a father, family man, things of that nature. You have to do it for yourself first. Those around you will benefit from it, of course, but you have to do it for yourself first. But I'm definitely going to put the link to this article in the description of the episode on Talkspace.com. And again, even though The title says, hey, why black men face greater mental health challenges. There's plenty of things in here for all men to basically read about and basically get information on. But I do want to say this before ending this episode here, that women have to understand that certain things that a man goes through or deals with, the same way that you would want the understanding of what you deal with as a woman, you have to understand that it's not easy for a man just because we don't give childbirth. I just want to be transparent. It's often viewed that just because we don't bring life into this world the same way that a woman does, we provide the seed for life. There are other things that we, deal with daily that we keep from you simply because either we were not shown how to deal with it, not shown how to convey it, but it still does not need to be taken lightly. And I'm not saying that women do, but all I'm saying is that if a man is wanting to be vulnerable or open about his emotions or dealing with something and say, hey, I need to speak with you about something that you said the other day that I didn't like, or you said that really hurt my feelings, it should not be viewed as, oh, you're weak because you have feelings. Because then it becomes more or less a sex issue. It's like, oh, I'm a woman, I can have feelings, but you're a man, you cannot. There's no balance in that type of scenario. So I definitely just wanted to make that point there. And also, men, we have to stop trying to live by everyone else's standards. And we really need to start living by our own. And by that, I mean, it's one thing to want to be there for everyone else, be everything for, to everyone else. And then you're not there for yourself. You're not taking care of yourself, whether on a physical, mental, emotional, psychological plane, you're not doing that for yourself. And that's why so many men, die so early, much earlier than women. That could be a key reason why there are more women on this planet than men, because we have a shorter lifespan, because we are taking on so much and holding on to so much that it wears us down on a physical, mental, emotional level. So that is my message to all my men out there. Thank you for listening. I greatly appreciate the support so far. Again, share the podcast. Get it out there. If you have friends in Africa, South America, Asia, I really want to make sure that this message, that this podcast gets out. We're trying to continue to be the best version of ourselves. And sometimes, yes, it's facing those hard situations, those hard conversations, dealing with issues such as, mental health, relationship issues, family issues, etc. We take the good, we take the bad. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. That's not copyright infringement because I didn't include the song, but it's true. It's the facts of life. But thank you for bearing with me here. I'm your host, Cypher the MC. You can definitely follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Let me know your thoughts on mental issues, things of that nature, whether you're going through it as a man, whether you're dealing with it. You can definitely, hit me up, and, we can definitely chop it up, and, we can definitely see here. I also will be putting a number for mental health that you can reach out to as well. So again, thank you for listening. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And above all else, before you can love anyone else, you must first love yourself. And I'm out this thing. Cypher.
Into the cypher with your life.